again. We are on your screens as Open Studio here on Cape Town TV channel 263 on your DSTV. And today we're having another exciting episode as your favorite show, Open Studio. My name is Atule Mazula. First and foremost, this is Link2Grow that I am with. But before we start anything, we've got a very short video that we want to show you.
I think today was about people finding ways to make a difference in their own lives and perhaps in the lives of others, and to think differently perhaps about the way we think we can make an impact in changing South Africa for the better.
When you go to conferences, it's the same kind of professionals, same people from the same industries that come together, and then the same sort of ideas come out. And you're not really sure that it's hearing the voices of where the real issues are coming from. So I must say it's very noble work being done by Link2Grow. Very nice and very humbling to be part of the experience for the day.
I came here today thinking this would be quite a corporate affair. Turned out to be a bit more like group therapy.
There is so much potential, and we thought if we can create a platform where the old wisdom and the young energy, or maybe sometimes the young wisdom and the old energy get together, maybe we can get a conversation going and we can start a movement to say, let's change the narrative in our country and say, what can I do in my own environment to make South Africa a better place for all?
When somebody is speaking, we don't interrupt. We let them finish and ramble on or be silent. We just let them talk.
You know, this morning we started with something you appreciate, and I think that created a possibility, a sense of we can do and what's good. But then we went into, if you like, the shadow. What's the lament? What are the challenges? And I think the first bit kind of created some energy, and then the second bit was more difficult, but it created safety and people were quite vulnerable. And I feel now, as we move into action, having established a bit of the can-do and then a bit of the safety and really speaking it like it was for people, we're ready to take some real practical steps.
So what step can you take towards creating this dream? We've talked a lot about now our dream and our possibility, and we were creative. So what can you do towards creating this dream? It's not about showing each other how clever we are. It's about making a space for the other person to do it slowly in their own time, as long as it takes.
I found that the group discussions were people very honest, and it was very raw, and a lot of people were so open, which I found very, it took me a bit taken aback, especially because you didn't know anybody really, and the first thing people just went so deep, you know. So that was very interesting, putting people in a safe space, a circle, to be able to open up. Yeah, so I think it was a really cool experience. I think it was a really enlightening experience, actually.
The conference was something where I'll be very honest. It was a little bit unusual, and I had to come here with the attitude of have an open mind and let's see how this turns out. And it's been the most amazing day, just because the old wisdom, and yet there was the young wisdom, and then it was the young energy, but there's the old energy, and the combination of...
Oh wow, what a video. And we're going to start with that video. It was very interesting, and I want to know about it, me, myself, and I'm sure that you also rather want to know about it. Before we do anything, there was a video. It was a conference. Please tell us about it.
Okay. Last year we had an idea of getting a diverse audience together to brainstorm ideas for the future of our country. And it came out of feeling very despondent about how people were negative about our future. And I think I started feeling ill, actually. I used to sit around a dinner table and listen to people complaining, criticizing, and talking about how we had nowhere to go and there was no future for our children. And I thought, it's not true. There's a lot of young people in this country who have amazing energy and amazing skills and want to stay. And then there are a lot of older people who have wisdom and life experience. And if we could get them together, they could activate each other. These people could feel like they had some mentorship, and the older people could feel that their wisdom was being used. And that was the birth of the Old Wisdom Young Energy Conference.
Oh, wow. This is so... You want to add something?
Yes, I wanted to add that we used a conversation process in that session. And
Yes.
we learned the technique from Peter Block and I think from the Justice Conference last year. It was so powerful. It's such a simple technique. You put people together in a room and you ask questions in and you create a safe environment for people to listen and for people to feel that their point of view is being valued.
Is being valued.
Yes, and so our aim was to hopefully shift people from the despondency that Suzanne talked about, from what is wrong with South Africa to what is possible for South Africa. And then when you dream about what is possible for South Africa, then to move on to, well, what can I do? What is the little part that I can play in my family, in my society? What can I do? So we sort of hoped to, with the conference, shift people from that despondency and anxiety and fear into hope and maybe inspiration to do something.
To do something as
Yeah.
individual and
Yes.
starting small.
Absolutely.
Because if you start in your community, definitely you're doing something for your
Yes.
country as well.
Yes, and sometimes the task is so big, Atola. You're frozen because the job is so big and you feel like there's nothing you can do. But this was a chance to say the smallest thing you can do will make a difference. So let's
make
do
a
it.
difference to someone else.
Yes.
On that note, we're just taking a very short break. We're going to come back in a short while. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have just joined us, I am with Link2Grow. You want to know what they are doing, who they are, and where they're from, and why they are here today. Let us just hear from them. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming through once again, and you're welcome. Link2Grow. Is there an inspiration or a story behind the name?
Yes, I will take that one. My name is
Thank you.
Karine Wiese, and I'm a founder member of Link2Grow. We are a group of business and professional women. And as you can see, we are not as young as our presenter. So when we started out our careers, there was a lot of gender discrimination in the workplace, and I would love to think that it has improved, but we also are very much aware that it is still an issue. So our group came together to say, you know, we now have job experience, we have life experience, and we didn't really have mentors in our respective careers. I mean, we started in careers that weren't really the usual careers for women in our days. I mean, Suzanne started out as an engineer, Charmaine started out in IT, and I started out as a lawyer, and people almost didn't know what to do with females in those environments.
IT, a female in IT department, that alone is something else.
Yeah, so we thought, let's get together and support each other, because Link2Grow is a place where we can work on our own development, but that we can also use our networks and our experience to help other women to, to improve their situation in the workplace, really to create an environment without gender bias. And we started off with our logo was a baobab tree, because we fought for the growth and we are links in the society, and we want other women to grow and ourselves to grow. And very recently, we actually got a new logo, and you will see on our logo that we actually have we became modern, I suppose, and we just have leaves that are interlinking. And yeah, so we link each other so that we can grow. That's where the name and the logo come from.
It started very far and it is still going far. What is the mission and the vision of Link2Grow?
Well, as I've said, our mission is to empower women.
Yes.
And that means that, you know, that we would like to see a society where there is no gender bias in the workplace and in our societies and at home.
If I may ask, who are your constituents?
Well, members are any like-minded women who want to improve themselves and also want to help to improve others and use their networks to mentor and coach and bring resources and needs together.
Speaking of those members, are there any requirements or for somebody who want to join you, or just?
Well, you know, we, as I've said, like-minded. They must be. It's really, I believe, that one improves yourself through service to others. So we've had over the years people coming to our club, and they obviously had the wrong mindset. They wanted to see what's in it for them.
Yes.
Instead of seeing what can I bring to the organization and to society at large. And as I say, I believe that what you put in is what you get out in anything that you do, and that also applies in Link2Grow. If you are prepared to share your networks, your skills, know-how with others, you are also going to, to improve yourself in the process.
This is truly a unique conversation. It will be where the old way wisdom meets young minds. Why is it important? And these conversations, why are they taking place?
So, just to take a step back for a second.
Yes.
In the 10 years that we've been in existence, we've had a number of different projects.
Yes.
In education, literacy, helping abused women, various projects, and they've taken themes over the time. And at the moment, our theme and our thrust is towards mentorship. So our biggest project is called Adopt a Mentee, where we match business women with grade 11 and 12 girls.
Yes.
And they have a relationship for a year where they get, Corinne will tell us about it in a minute. So that's our main project, Adopt a Mentee. And then the second project, which is a new thing that we saw the video of, is the Old Wisdom, Young Energy. And that's because it's kind of a mentorship as well, which is our theme at the moment. And it's the older people and the younger, sort of middle career people getting together to create mentorship, but with the idea of what we can all do to go forward, as Charmaine said. So that's one of our other projects. And we did the conference in June, and we're having another event on Saturday.
Oh, well, this is very interesting. You will be. This is going to be the second Old Energy, Young Energy Conference. How successful was the first one?
Well, I had an idea of how it was going to be, and we worked together as a group.
Yes.
We wanted diverse, we wanted inclusive, we wanted open, honest, safe space, and to come up with commitments of what we could do. I think that we had 60 people. They
60.
all looked different. They were young, old, men, women. Some were at school, some were retired. We had different races, different cultures. It was really amazing, and I stood there in the corner on the day and thought, how did we manage that? So we definitely had inclusive and diverse. And there was something very special that happened on the day, because I heard afterwards about how open and honest people had been. They confessed things they'd never ever said before. They connected with each other. When I asked them to join another group for the next question, they said, no, 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 we've made these friends now. We want to carry on talking to them. So they moved to, the people were interacting on an amazing level, realizing that the problems they thought were only in their environment were actually quite common to all of us.
Okay, Susan, thank you so much for that. But on that note, we're just taking a very short break. We're going to be back in a while. We're going to be back in a while. We're taking a short break. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us. And if you have just joined us, you haven't missed a lot, if I can put it that way, but you have missed something. But anyway, I am with Link2Grow. It is a project that is having old, young women. But you want to know more about it? Let me just take you to that. Welcome back, ladies. You're still looking good anyway. You will be having an event on Saturday.
Yes.
Who is going to be the speaker on the event?
So,
and why that person of
okay,
us?
so once again, it's a morning this
Yes.
time. And the main thing is that it's interactive conversation. So we've got groups of people sitting in small circles, and we pose questions and they discuss the answer. And then we have a feedback, then we have another question, they move to a new circle. So in a way, because it's interactive conversation, the speakers are all the delegates, everybody gets a chance to speak.
So everyone.
And everybody gets a chance to hear. So you get a chance to voice and a chance to hear others. But as an introduction, we're having a woman called Philippa Kibali Kagwa, who is a poet, a storyteller, very inspirational and creative woman who's done a lot of writing and is also a life coach. And she's introducing the day, because what we're doing is we're taking the commitments that we came up with last time, and this time on Saturday the 3rd, we're talking about how we can take them into action.
What are other activities that will be taking place on that day?
So at the conference, with the 60 people that we mentioned, commitments were made. We had over 100 commitments made. And actually there were simple commitments like, I'm going to talk to my family or my peers about these issues. I'm going to try and be positive about it. I'm going to mentor a young girl. I'm going to open my home to meals. So those little commitments that were made, we want actions to spring out of them. So when are you going to do it? Who are you going to do it? You said you want to join an organization. Is that happening? So actually most of the activities that will be taking place will be up to the people that came to the conference, that will attend this event, and it will be up to each one of them to say, okay, I've been inspired to do my little bit. And already we've had fabulous stuff happening. I mean, so I opened my home to a lot of people, different people that came and sat down and chatted. And because we at the conference built trust with each other, it is so easy now when you sit together to have real conversations about real issues. And we know it's a safe space. Nobody's going to judge you or criticize you. And you know that, and you know that your point of view is going to be valued. So we're trying to build that culture even, you know, of listening to each other and understanding somebody else's point of view. Because I think the history of our country has been to divide. And what we want to do is connect.
And somewhere you can give help if you can.
Absolutely.
I have heard that the event is going to be held at the school. Is there a reason why? Is it going to be held at the school? And
yeah, perhaps I can tell you that we have a relationship with Good Hope Seminary High School for Girls in Cape Town, and that's where our mentor program, you know, takes place. And they have made their school hall. They have a beautiful school hall, and they've made that available for the event.
oh wow, very fantastic. And from 2016 to 2018, you were part of 2 scholarships. Please tell us about those and what did they rather learn.
Well, you know, as we said, our name is linking, it's Link2Grow, and this is an instance where a friend of one of our members passed away, and her daughter is making a monthly donation to our club in honor of her late mother.
Yes.
And we have decided to use that money for a scholarship for a grade, well, it can be grade 8, no, sorry, I'm still old-fashioned, grade 10, 11 or 12 girl at Good Hope Seminary. And for the past 2 years, there's been a grade 12 learner who received a monthly scholarship to cover her school fees.
Wow, wow. Mentorship program, please tell us a little bit more about it. What is it all about and why?
Well, you know, a couple of years ago, we gave a scholarship to a university student, and I informally mentored her during her studies. And initially, she did very well. She studied chemical engineering. She was on the Dean's Merit List. And then in her third year, things fell apart. And when we discussed it, it turned out that she didn't really want to be an engineer. And that's when we decided that we should start working with high school girls and help them to make better career choices and study choices.
Yes.
And that's how we then, because we also give science prizes to a couple of schools for girls who persevere in the study of sciences. So Good Hope Seminary is one of the schools where we give a science prize, and at the prize giving event, you know, I learned that one of the teachers had also felt that the girls at the school can benefit from mentoring, and that's how our mentorship program came about, because many girls perhaps do not have a parent who can give them good guidance, or they don't have good role models. They're not aware of all the career opportunities. They don't know how to apply for bursaries or to tertiary institutions. And that's where we facilitated, you know, the adult mentors, women who are already in a career, who's completed her studies maybe, and who's been through all the things that these girls still have to experience. And it's really about relationship building. We pair an adult with a grade 11 or 12 girl, and they have to see each other regularly and stay in touch on WhatsApp. And we also give them psychometric tests.
You are women that took the stand for our country, if I can put it that way. And you're teaching us to take the stand, to help where we can, the importance of helping where you can. But with all this work that you've done, the challenges that you went through, just in a second. No challenges.
I think that
The lack of mentors is the big one.
I think that what we would like from our community is more women to be mentors, more people to offer skills training, people to become members, people to make donations so that we don't have to fundraise in order to cover the costs, so that we can put our focus into actually growing the project and getting involved in other schools.
Thank you so much, Susan, on that note. But in 1 second, if one wants to get a hold of you, just in a second.
Our website, Link2Grow, with the two,
Link2Grow.
Link2Grow.coza. So
Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by and giving us this information that you have given us today. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks,
and thank you so much for choosing us. This is all we have for you today. Up until next time, igama lam ndingu-Athule Mazula. Yanga inhliziyo zenu zingongameleka luthando noxolo kude kube lixesha elizayo kamnandi.